Hi guys, it's Tori. Welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. So in today's video, I'm practically going to be talking about everything I wish I knew before studying computer science or before actually going to major into computer science. I think now I'm at a point where I'm reflecting on everything that I wish I knew before I started to do computer, and hopefully this information is helpful to you guys who are about to major in computer science. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. The first thing I wish I knew before majoring into computer science is that I should have learned to code beforehand. I know some people are very reluctant, just like I was reluctant at the time, and expecting that university was going to teach me everything I needed in order to learn how to code. But the one thing I really regret is that I should have started coding prior. I know it's very difficult to be not a computer science student and not even be familiar with most of the programming languages or most of the courses and attempt to program. But the one thing is, school, as I said in my previous video, if you haven't watched it, the link is going to be in the description box below. University does not teach you how to program, and one major thing is that university does not teach you all the programming language. I highly recommend that you learn those things, because I did not know how to program at the time, and when I got into CS, there were so many people who were already capable of programming, not necessarily in the languages that we're learning, but they were still able to program one way or the other, and with time they are just improving on the skill that they already have. So to anybody who is wanting to major in CS, you can practically just look up the basic languages or the easiest languages to learn and start learning those now. Computer science is a very intimidating program, and as a first year or second year, or whenever it is that you actually get into doing the computing stuff at your university, you'll find people who've already done programming or who have already worked in corporate, so you will be very intimidated. But the one advice or the one thing that I wish I knew is that you should not be afraid to ask for help from your friends who actually know one programming language or the other. I know you're going to seem not as smart as they are, but honestly, learning to ask for help from people who actually have thorough knowledge or at least some basic understanding of whatever it is that you're learning is going to be so helpful to you. As the saying goes, he who asks a question is a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask a question remains a fool for his entire life or for the rest of his life. And this is one thing that you need to learn. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to look stupid just because you don't know, because trust, some people don't know anything, and by some people I mean me, because I was some people who did not know anything about programming when I got into computing. But through inquiries from my friends, working together, and constantly just seeing what other people are doing, I think I'm in a pretty good place, honestly, to even learn how to program by myself now, using YouTube, of course. Practice programming by creating mini programs. Just whenever you're even given an assignment in class, whatever it is, whatever programming language you're going to be doing, in your own free time at home, make sure using that same language you create mini programs out of whatever it is that you've been learning. Do not stick to just the programs that school is teaching you, but learn to create your own mini programs, because that gives you an open understanding to what you're doing. Even if it doesn't make sense, just strive to make mini programs out of whatever it is that you've been given, or out of whatever programming language it is that you're attempting to learn, because that really helps develop your skill and also helps develop your confidence in programming. Because as you know, your codes have to run, and if they don't run, then you practically have not programmed anything. So practicing mini programs is very important. Even as you learn, even as you do assignments, mini programs is the way. So the one thing that I'm constantly being told is that you should learn only one programming language and make sure that you major in that programming language. So there are a lot of programming languages, but today our lecturer said something very intriguing. He said the funny thing is, something that can be done in one programming language can be done in another programming language, either easier or harder, but it will still be done regardless in any other programming language. And he greatly emphasized on the fact that we should greatly invest in just learning a specific programming language and becoming extremely good at it. And honestly, I think I'm not gonna take this advice for granted. Even I am using my own advice, guys. So make sure you learn one programming language, major in it, become extremely good at it, and if time allows, you can actually learn other programming language, but just make sure you completely know one programming language by heart. Learn how to research. I know this is going to sound like a very vague thing to say, but actually learn how to research. A lot of people do not know how to research, and a lot of people, funny enough, even though we're constantly looking up things on the internet, a lot of people do not even know how to look up information on YouTube or on Google. But as you major into computer science, I said this in my previous video, which you should totally go and watch, is that you really need to make use of these social platforms such as Google and YouTube, because these save you a lot of time. Honestly, what you could read in 2,000 pages book, you can practically watch in 2 hours, and not just in 2 hours, but you can watch it in phases, you can watch it in chapters, and they are a million and infinity videos, tutorials, everything that you need on YouTube. So learn to do research. If you find one video, don't stick by it, find another video till you find the best video that is going to help you understand a computing concept or a programming concept, and just learn how to use these to the best of your abilities, such as YouTube and Google. Make sure you make these your best friend, because honestly, they will make your life simpler and easier if you just know how to utilize them. The last thing that I wish I knew before getting into CS is that please don't buy books. Do not buy computer science books. And also, I know there are a lot of people that like to read, but computer science is a very practical program. It's a very practical course, rather. So spending a lot of time reading something that could practically be watched is a waste of time. The biggest waste of time is you spending your money to buy books about computing or about programming. YouTube, Google, these platforms got you covered. So do not go out there in these streets, because now I have warned you. Don't go in these streets buying computing books. You can download books, but honestly, seeing is believing. So the more you watch YouTube videos that teach you how to program, the more you watch YouTube videos that even just explain theoretical aspects of computing. As I said in my previous video, it's not just about coding, it's not just about programming. There is still going to be a lot of theory involved. So watching a video that relates to the theory part is way better, because you get to see it. And in books, obviously, they're not going to give you accurate illustrations, but when you do look these things up, you're going to get accurate illustrations. Sometimes, you know, it's going to give you a picture, an image of what exactly you're looking at and what exactly you're talking about. So don't waste your money buying books on computing. So that was practically it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this video, and make sure to turn on the post notification bell so that you get notified every time I post. And I'll see you guys in my next video, and thank you for watching.